Here we go. We're going to move the mic. Good morning, my friends. I hope that you're doing well wherever you are in the world. Just getting set up here for our usual morning coffee. Just want to hang out with you guys this morning and say what's up. Oh, if you're watching them streaming live on all the things, drop the match. Good morning, Super Brown. Good morning. How are you guys doing? Where are you at this morning? Where are you at in the world? I'm gonna put my earbud in here so you can hear me here. A little fun. Good morning, Book of Joel. Good morning. What is up, guys? How are you today? What is going on in your world? Super excited to hang out with you this morning and have morning coffee with you as usual. It's a hat day for me, having a bad hair day, if you will. So I got this hat a few months ago. It's just been sitting, waiting to be worn, waiting for this moment. Good morning from Oklahoma. Let's go. Oklahoma, Oklahoma. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm having a great Saturday morning. Spent my morning training with Dean Graziosi, who is a business partner and associate of Tony Robbins and many of the mentors in my life. And it was a really beautiful and impactful morning, just thinking about being of service and being a leader in the space of trauma and trying to bring us together in a way that can create and elicit and impact some real change in the world. And I was thinking this morning about continuing to put myself in a position of being a learner. And the question that I keep asking myself is like, am I learning? Am I putting myself in a position to be studious? And I was thinking about this because, and I haven't shared this a lot, but I was a terrible student in school. I mean, like, probably the worst. Hold on a second. So I'm probably like the worst student. I'll tell you a story quickly. My senior year of high school, my teacher, my business teacher, Mr. Bush, who I will never forget till the day I die. Mr. Bush comes into post the graduation list, and my then girlfriend, she calls me. I'm at school, or excuse me, I'm at home, and I'm like super high. I've been playing video games all day long, not really ever showing up in life, right? Because my thing back then was just like, I'm gonna get high, I'm gonna party, I'm not gonna do anything, and that it doesn't work very long, to say the least. And so my girlfriend calls me. She calls me at home and she says, "Hey, your name's not on the graduation list. You are not graduating high school." And I was like, okay, well, let's look into this. Let's go to school. And so I've been sitting at home playing video games all day. I get in my car, drive to school, and sure enough, my name wasn't on the list. Now, I knew, like, subconsciously in my heart, like, I already knew, like, there's no way I was graduating high school because I never did the work. I never went to school for real. Like, I never went to school. I never studied. I never did homework. I think my senior year of high school, I did homework approximately 0 times. And I hated school. Like, real talk, I was out running the streets at night. I was selling drugs. I was getting high all night. I was partying till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I was stealing cars and driving to Kentucky and Chicago. And, it was crazy. It was just crazy what I was doing with my life then. And so I go up to the school and I walk up to Mr. Bush's room. And this is after a period had ended. And I'm like standing there, irate, being an irate child. Because when you're 18, you're a child. I don't care. If I know some of you guys are 18, 19 watching this, you're a child, but that's a good thing because that means you have so much time ahead for what's next in your life. And I think about that all the time, and that's so powerful and impactful. And so what happened is I walk up there, I knock on the door, I say, "Mr. Bush," and literally like this, I go, "What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like, how dare you?" Vegan rock lover. Good morning, my friend. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, wherever you are in the world. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you're gonna fail me? And when that semester, my senior semester, the last semester of school started, I walked up to Mr. Bush's classroom, and this is my business class, right? So the irony in this is fast forward, 20 years later, I'm multi entrepreneurial person and VP of multiple companies and all those things. But at that time, I walked up to his class. I said, "Mr. Bush, here's the truth, man. I'm not coming to your class ever. Not going to happen. Your class is at 7:15 in the morning. I'm up all night selling drugs, doing drugs, partying. Like, I'm just never going to come. And Mr. Bush was a teacher. I mean, he had seen it all. I mean, like, this dude had been a teacher in public schools for 20 years. He was the basketball coach. He had seen it all. I'd been in this classroom before. He knew who I was, right? And he goes, dude, look, I get it. Check in with me, do homework. And he gave me an opportunity to be successful. And that's what I want to talk about this morning, is like having the opportunity to be successful, because sometimes it's right there. Sometimes it's right there in front of you, and we're not grabbing it. We're not taking it. We're not putting ourselves in a position to be successful. We're hoping and leveraging on the idea that maybe somehow it'll happen, but you know as well as I do, like, that's never going to happen. There's no Disney moment in this. There's no magic fairy dust that's going to come and give you the life that you want to have. And so I'm going through this conversation with Mr. Bush, and he says, look, dude, just come in, check in with me, do homework. That's it. Like, this ain't rocket science, guys. He gave me an opportunity. Even though I was doing all this chaotic shit in my life, he still gave me the opportunity to show up. And fast forward to the end of the semester, I knock on his door. He comes out, and I'm like, Mr. Bush, what the fuck, man? Why are you not passing me? All the other teachers passed me. I'll be honest with you. I went to a school where if you didn't, it was almost impossible not to graduate my high school. You really had to be a fuck up to not graduate my high school. And like, I was that guy. Like, I was that kid. And he looks at me and he goes, you have to understand something about life. And these words, they changed my life forever, for real. And that's why I'm sharing them with you this morning. These words changed my life forever. He said, here's the thing you have to understand about life. You cannot get by in life on your charms and your good looks. If you want something in life, you have to go and earn it. And that was the first time anyone had ever made me feel like I was responsible for my life. Now, of course, the juxtaposition of that is understanding that it was my fault to begin with. Like, it was my fault that I was in that scenario. It was my fault that I wasn't graduating high school on time, even though I was blaming him. I said, Mr. Bush, this is your fault. And I was blaming the other teachers, and I was blaming my friends, and I was not taking responsibility for my actions. And, you know, that happens to us all the time. We're given an opportunity to step into life to be successful. We have a chance to come into our lives and say, you know what, I'm going to show up for myself today. I'm going to do the thing that I said I'm going to do today. I'm going to ask for help and support today. I'm going to seek guidance today. And we don't do it. We say, I'm going to journal today, right? You guys know this. Every day I get in this journal, one of my many. This is how I start my day every day to be successful. And I'll share with you the opportunity that I'm trying to create here is, you know, my goal is to help 2.5 million people in the next year, not in my life, because my goal for life is to end generational trauma. That is my life goal. My right now goal is help 2.5 million people in the next year. And so how do you do that? Well, we have to give ourselves the opportunity to be successful. We have to put ourselves in a position to be successful together as a community. And for many of us, and this was my experience for a long time, it just felt like I was going about it alone. And that's why I created this Heal Trauma Coach 6-week community coaching course, because I don't think people should do this alone. Healing trauma, coming from this place of feeling invisible, feeling like nobody gets it, feeling like nobody's there to support you. Like, I get that. Man, I get that in such a fucking real way. I spent my whole elementary years, my teen years, my 20s, just being like, I'm alone. I'm alone. Nobody understands what I'm going through. But let me tell you this right now, because this is really important. You're not alone. You're not alone in this journey. I created this 6-week program as the starting point. Look, this is just the beginning. If you're like, I don't know where to start in this healing journey. I don't know where to begin in healing my trauma. I don't know how to get to this place where I can create change in my life. I don't know how to deal and navigate with all the shit that's happened to me. That's what I created healtraumacoach.com for. I created this 6-week program so that we can get you support now. There's 3 parts of this program: community, connection, and commitment. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Community, connection, and commitment. Community, connection, commitment. Community, connection, commitment. These are the things that I identified in my journey that I needed. I needed these things, and I had to go out and build them. I had to go out and create them. I had to go out and make them for myself. And so when I created this program, it was about, can I cut out the time, the effort, the energy, and the money that it required me to build what I've made for you to be a part of. And what this is about putting you in a position to take advantage of that opportunity. This is what I talked about. Mr. Bush gave me an opportunity. He said, Michael, you show up and you do this and you will get what you want out of the backside. But I didn't show up, right? I didn't do the thing that I said I was going to do. I didn't show up for myself. And too many of us are not showing up for ourselves and then blaming the world when we're not getting what we want. And it starts with putting yourself in a position of understanding that it's okay to ask for help. This is the biggest thing that I've ever learned in my life. Like, asking for help is everything, because if we're not willing to ask for help, there will be no help. No, you guys have heard me say this before. Nobody's coming to rescue you. There ain't no Disney moment. There ain't no knight in shining armor. There's no magic fairy dust. There ain't no hidden lottery, man. It ain't going to happen. You're going to have to put yourself in a position to be successful by A, asking for help, and then B, investing in yourself, whether that be time, energy, money, whatever that is, whatever that investment is. Or C, it's really about, like, when it's on the line, when it's time to step into the life that you want to have, are you going to do the thing that you said you're going to do? I ask myself every day, what am I willing to do to have the life that I want to have? And many of you know this. I didn't sign up to be the spokesperson for trauma. I don't even want this job. Real talk. I think it's fucking nonsense we even have to have this conversation in 2021. But I understand the power of connection, community, and commitment, because those are the things that have driven me to the place where I have found success in my life, to the point where when I look in the mirror, I'm okay with the reflection on the other side. You have to understand something. If you are not okay with the reflection on the other side of your mirror, when you look at yourself and you're like, the trauma is keeping me stuck, I feel broken, I feel like I can't live my life, you got to do something about it. You have to do something about it, because nobody's going to do it for you. And look, the real hard truth about this, and there is an approach to this whole conversation that I think is a little bit skewed, because people are often talking about it's okay. Well, here's the thing. It's not okay not to show up for yourself. It's not okay to not push yourself. It's not okay to not take your life to the next level because you're not doing the work, because you're not getting support, because you're not building community connection, because you're not committing to yourself. Like, that's not okay. I don't know what planet we live on where people justify that, where people say, well, it's self-care. Bullshit. Bullshit. Self-care is taking care of yourself. Bullshit, man. Like, self-care is putting yourself in a position to be successful by doing difficult things to reframe the understanding of what is possible in your life. Let me say it again. You have to reframe your understanding what is possible in your life, but you're only ever going to do that. You're only ever going to do that by doing difficult things, right? You have to get outside of your comfort zone. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest, it's not easy. No part of healing trauma is easy. No part of studying is easy. No part of investing is easy. No part of learning about who you are is easy. There's many of you right now watching this, you don't know your values. If I asked you to name your values, you wouldn't be able to do it. You don't know your wants, your needs, your interests. You don't have things like boundaries figured out. And look, that's okay, because when I started this, I didn't either. I didn't have any of that shit, right? And that's why I created this program. And so the healtraumacoach.com community coaching program is exactly that. It's community coaching, where we come together to help you take the first steps. I'll be honest, this program is for people who want to have something change in their life, because it's intensive, it's in depth, it's community driven, it's daily activities. Every single day, you can go watch the testimonial videos on healtraumacoach.com. You can go and watch those testimonial videos of all the people who have experienced this program, and they're all going to say the same thing. Their life was different after they did this because I've invested, to be honest with you, if you want to know financially, over $250,000 into trauma education. I've invested a tremendous amount of personal growth in education. I've invested into my own coaches. I've invested time. Talk about 10,000 hours. Like, shit, I'm at like 30,000 hours. All I do is this. All I do is try to figure out how to reach my goal. And look, I'm very selfish. I told you guys this the other day. I'm trying to end generational trauma in my lifetime, not in 400 years. I thought about this the other day. I was like, let's end it now. Let's give people the tools to heal now. Let's give people the tools to show up for themselves now. Let's give people what they need now. But it's reciprocal. You have to invest in yourself. Some of you guys are super scared to spend $7 on a book, but you're paying for Netflix and Spotify and Hulu and Showtime. You're going to events all the time that don't bring value to your life. You're spending money at the bar. You're going to lunch 3 times a week. You're buying the fancy cheese, right? Right? You're doing that. And when you look at the way that you're investing in your life, you're not putting that money into a place that will change your life. And yet you blame the world. And look, I'm guilty. I've been there. I'm raising my hand. I'm the first one to be culpable of this. I will always admit that. Gisela, the journey of healing is painful. Well, yeah, it is. It's hard, right? I never said it was going to be easy. I just said that it was going to work. And when I built out this coaching program, it was so you had support, because the most painful part about this is the feeling that you're by yourself. And you're not by yourself. You are not alone. And when you join this program, when you join this 6-week community coaching program, like, you are in a community of people. You are in a community of people who are there to support you, who are there to guide you, to love you, to help you with the things that you're stuck at. And then you're with me coaching. Like, not only you're getting daily education, like, there are people watching right now who are in that program right now, who are in the Heal Trauma Coach 6-week program right now, learning every single day. They're learning every day. They're taking ideas and concepts about trauma and applying it to their life in a way that is creating real-time change, because you're reframing your understanding of who you are and how you exist in the world. This is so true. Expending in so much garbage. I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying there. If you can type that again. At the end of the day, I think about this all the time. Opportunity presents itself. And they say this all the time. Opportunity knocks and you got to go open the door. Well, the truth is, sometimes you got to be the one knocking, right? Sometimes you have to be the one putting yourself in a position to be knocking on the door and saying, I want in, let me in. What do I have to do to get in? And we're not. And we're not doing that enough. And we're not showing up enough. And we're blaming the world too much. And we're saying it's your fault, your fault, your fault. And I want to be clear. I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination, I'm not saying that we are culpable for the abuse that we've suffered. That'd be fucking nonsense. Anyone who says that's an idiot. I don't ever want to talk to you. But we are responsible for what happens from this moment forward. I want you to hear that again. We're responsible for our lives and what happens from this moment forward. Because at the end of the day, it's your life. It's your life. The way that you show up in the world right now can either be creating or destroying your future. The way you show up in your life right now is either creating or destroying your future. And I know that's not the easiest thing in the world to hear, but it's only the truth. And I only ever said I would give you the truth. That's it. I never said I'd give you anything else. I never said I'd do anything but share the truth with you. And the reason why is because you have to understand something. Too many of us are terrified of our potential because we're afraid to face the truth. And the truth in all of this is that you can have the life that you want to have. You can have the life that you want to have at 25. For those of you watching, if you don't know this, I'm going to share something with you. At 25, I was 350 pounds, smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day, drinking myself to sleep, and that's when I put a gun in my mouth. And I had this moment where I thought to myself, I remember being an 8-year-old little boy and walking across the street to our neighbor's house and stealing water because we were that poor, because my mother was using all of our money on drugs. And my stepfather, I don't know what the hell he was doing. And we were the poorest kids in the poorest community. And there were points where we were homeless, where my mom would disappear for weeks at a time. I'd live with strangers and I'd be lost in the world, just no support, no love, no compassion, trying to figure this out on my own. Well, you fast forward to 25 years old and being angry, like this tremendous amount of anger at the world for being in this position and not being loved and not being supported and not having what I needed. And I let that destroy me. A lot of you, I'm sure some of you listening right now can relate to this idea that life has felt like it's been stolen from you. And we blame the past, and I get it. We are like, for real, if you want to blame the past, you can. And shit, you probably deserve to. Some fucked up shit probably happened to you, right? But the truth is, like, there's no time machines, guys. There's no going back. There's no going back in time. You can't change anything. I can't change the thing I just said. It exists forever. The only thing I can control is what I do right now. And life can be different that fast. And that's what you guys need to understand. Life can be different so incredibly fast, but you have to be willing to take it. You have to be willing to do the work. You have to be willing to step into the arena, right? And so when I created this program, it was very much about that. Can I give people the tools that I have learned over a decade of learning these things, of all the financial investment, of all the time investment, of all the certifications? I've learned and studied under some of the most incredible leaders in personal development and trauma on planet Earth, from Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins to Pete Walker, Bessel van der Kolk, Gabor Mate. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. I've learned, and the part of that too, that like, I think a lot of coaches don't share with you, which is kind of silly, is the cost of that. If I sat down and I really put the numbers together on what it has taken to get to where I am right now, a decade of work from a time perspective, I mean, you got to be talking about 20,000 hours, like for real. I mean, probably more. I wish I had a calculator handy. You're talking about 70 hours a week for 10 years dedicated to this. And the financial investment of well over $250,000. Well over $250,000. This year alone, I'm going to spend more money on my own personal development than people with Ivy League degrees. I didn't graduate high school on time. I had straight Fs. I did not go to college. So think about this. And that's not a flex, right? That's not it. Because like, I'm poor. I don't even have a car, right? You know what I'm saying? You guys see me, I wear the same t-shirt every day, right? Because I don't invest in shit that don't matter. I don't put my effort and energy in places where it doesn't deserve to go. And so a lot of you are wasting your time, effort, and energy, right? You're wasting your time, effort, and energy. You could be creating change in your life right now in this moment, but you're focused on shit that doesn't matter. And so the question for you is not, are you willing to invest? Because I think most people are. The question is it going to bring value to your life? Is joining a program like healtraumacoach.com and being in a community and having leadership and having education valuable to your future? Does that matter to you? Do you want to have a life beyond trauma, right? Do you want to have a life beyond trauma? That's up to you. I don't have the answer to that question for you. Only you do. But I do know this: at 25 years old, when I looked in that mirror at 25, and I said, Michael, this is not the life that you promised yourself you were going to have. I had to do something drastic, and I had to choose me, and I had to put me first, and I had to take care of me. Because if I wasn't taking care of me 10 years ago, 11 years ago now, I wouldn't be talking to you today. Some of you need to put yourself first today. Some of you need to invest in yourself first today. Some of you need to love yourself first today. And that means you have to get out of what you believe is possible and change your mind into understanding that anything is possible. Just comment below. And for I mean this. Do you think that it's possible that you can have the life that you want to have? Just comment yes or no. Do you believe that it's possible to have the life that you want to have? Yes or no? And thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. Just comment below. Yes or no. Is it possible to have the life that you want to have? It's very simple. Yes or no. And why I want you to ask you this question is because it's very important. It's very important because what you think becomes what you speak, and what you speak becomes your actions, and your actions become your reality. What you think becomes what you speak, and what you speak becomes your action, and your action become your reality. And if you're in a place where you don't believe that the future can be yours, then you need to join this program and have support. And if you're not even, if you're writing yes, but in your heart, you're like, I don't even know if that's true, I want you to join this program. We start in July. We're a couple weeks away. We already have 40 people in there. You get put in these small group communities where you're with 5, 6 people. You have accountability. You have me coaching you every day. You are part of this thing that is bigger than anything you've ever been a part of, right? But you have to be willing to say, this is my time. You have to be willing to say, I'm going to do this. You have to be willing to say that no matter what, I'm going to show up for myself first. I ask myself 3 questions. I ask myself 3 questions constantly, constantly. What am I willing to do to get unstuck? Right? What am I willing to do to get unstuck? What am I willing to do to be the hero of my own story? Too many of us are waiting for the Disney moment. Guys, it ain't happening. Sorry, hate to break it to you. You have to go create it. And then what am I willing to do to think unbroken? The world, society, our neighbors, our peers, our family, all of these people in our lives have told us we're broken, told us that because we suffered things that we're never going to amount to anything, that we're never going to be of value to the world. And that's just bullshit. It's nonsense and it's not true. You all, everyone watching this right now, or if you're watching it later, or you're watching it in 10 years from now, everything that you want to have in your life, you can have. And I don't mean not from a monetary standpoint, because like money doesn't matter. Who gives a shit about money? Fuck money. Are you okay with the reflection in the mirror? Do you love the person on the other side of the mirror? Are you happy with the person on the other side of the mirror? Do you show up for yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you push yourself? Do you acknowledge yourself? Do you give yourself accolades? Do you walk the path that you want to walk? Do you, in the time and when it's difficult, you persevere instead of quit? Do you keep going when it's hard? Because some of you know it's hard. One of you just said healing trauma is fucking painful. Fuck yeah, it is. So why are you doing it alone? Why are you doing this by yourself? Why are you trying to do this alone when you can have support, when you can have people who have your back, when you can be a part of something bigger? Because society will tell you, do it by yourself. You guys have all heard this. Why don't you get over it? That happened 20 years ago. I don't give a fuck when it happened. Who cares when it happened? You're still impacted by it. You're still hurting from it. You're still in this place in your life where you're like, shit, man, damn, I wish somebody would help me here. But you got to know this. Hit that heart if you agree. Just tap the screen, blow it up with hearts. Blow it up with hearts if you believe that you can have the life that you want to have. If you believe you can have the life that you want to have, just like hit that heart, like blow this screen up, because I want you guys to understand something. You can have the life that you want to have. You have the ability to have the life that you want to have. You have the ability to love yourself. You have the ability to look in the mirror and be proud of yourself. You have the ability to have a body that you love, a mind that you love, a community that you love, a relationship that you love, a family that you love, a job that you love. Every single day, you can be living life unbroken. You have the ability to do that. Like, what's really beautiful and incredible, like, I have been where you are. I have been at fucking rock bottom. I've been in this place in my life where I'm just like, what's happening? I've been in that place where I'm like, I'd rather be dead. That's the truth. And look, motherfuckers don't talk about that, right? They're scared to talk about it. They're scared to keep it real with you. They're out here trying to sell you shit to make your life better when they're miserable. Or worse, they've never even gone through it, right? You guys see those people. You see those snake oil fucking salesmen out here talking bullshit about the fact that you take their one course and your life will be better. I'm not going to promise you that because that ain't going to happen, guys. This is the beginning. When you come in to ask anyone in that program right now, go watch those testimonial videos, healtraumacoach.com. We're starting this in July. Go watch those videos. Those people who have impacted and had a life change through the program and what we've done together, they understand that this is only the beginning, right? There ain't no magic pill. There's no one-time shot. Life isn't going to be magically different because you read one fucking book. Doesn't work that way, guys. I wish it did, because for real, if it did, like, we'd be done. We wouldn't be talking about this. I just like, buy this book, your life's going to be different. Right? But some of you still wouldn't buy the book because you're scared of your own potential, because you don't believe in yourself. And I have been there. Trust me, you don't get to 350 pounds smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day because you love yourself. For real. That's real talk. And so what I want you to think about, and I got to go. My time is up for this morning's coffee, which I didn't even drink. I'm on a rant, guys. Coffee got cold. But I love you, and I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud of you for even just sitting here. Some of you guys have been on this call since I turned it on, this morning coffee. Some of you have been here all morning, and thank you. I hope you took something of value with this. I hope that something from your life becomes inspired from this. I hope that you understand that you don't have to do this alone. I hope you understand that every day. Look, I'll address what you just wrote. I see this here. Trying to understand every day of my life why I'm not enough for my mother. That's my biggest pain. You need to be in this program. You need to be in this program. But I'm going to give you something right now, right? So go to healtraumacoach.com. I want you to go watch the testimonials. Don't even sign up until you watch the testimonials, because I want you to see something there. But I'm going to tell you this right now. I shared this on a podcast the other day I was on this huge podcast. You guys probably listen to it all the time. It's not out yet, so I can't tell you who it is. The truth is, some of you, right? And the truth is, and I was this person too, I was letting my mother destroy my life. That's a hard truth to hear. And you have to make hard decisions about that truth. And you have to put yourself first. Because guess what? How are you going to be enough for anyone if you're not enough for yourself? Right? It's hard. It's hard. I'm not saying, I never told you it's going to be easy. I just told you that it would be true. And the truth about this is, you're never going to be enough until you determine what that is. Until you sit with it and you say, this is what it means to me to be enough. It's never going to happen. And it's unfortunate. And I wish that weren't the case. And I wish that weren't the reality, but it is. And so you have to love yourself first. You have to show up for yourself first. You have to build yourself first. So guys, I really got to go. My time is up for this morning's coffee. I'm going to go throw it in the microwave before I go and do some coaching here. But thank you guys. I appreciate you. We're starting the next healtraumacoach.com community coaching sessions in July. It's limited, so get in there. This isn't one of those things where I let 500 people in at a time. It doesn't work that way. We keep close, small communities so that we can create an expanse and change together. So guys, have an amazing day, my friends. I appreciate you. And until next time, be unbroken. I'll see you guys.